careers in agriculture. There's a large variety, so we'll get started. One of the main parts of my job is to run a program called ExploreAg. ExploreAg is just a program focused on exploring careers in agriculture. It is funded through the Ohio Farm Bureau Foundation, but coordinated through Ohio State Extension. The flagship program of ExploreAg is 4 one-week-long summer camps. During the camp, high school students will stay on a university campus, whether that be Ohio State main campus, Ohio State ATI, or Central State University. While you're at camp, we learn about various careers in agriculture through visiting agricultural businesses and hearing presentations from professors within the university. So some of the pictures you see here we'll cover later, but we went to Ohio Stadium and learned about turf grass management. We went to Bob Evans and learned about their meat science production. So a lot of fun stuff. Other programming through ExploreAg includes day-long experiences in the spring and the fall. So there'll be shorter experiences if you can't go to a full week of camp where you still learn about a career in agriculture. We also do after-school clubs focused on a topic in agriculture, whether that be food science or environmental science. So you'll be able to learn about that topic and then learn about the careers available to you. And we also do some virtual field trips, similar to what you'll be seeing here during farm days at COSI. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about why ag careers. It's one of the best fields for new college graduates. As you can see some of the numbers here, it's estimated that 57,900 jobs are expected to open annually, and only 35,400 new college graduates or higher agricultural degrees will be leaving. So that leaves 22,500 openings. So there's a ton of degree options available to you within agriculture, but I do want to make sure that we cover, which we will talk about later, that if no matter what your education level, whether that be high school through PhD, there's a place for you in agriculture somewhere. So a little more about why ag careers. There's a large need for ag careers because with our growing population, there's a greater demand for food with the resources that we already have. So you'll see here that feeding the world of more than 9 billion people by 2050 with the same land and the same resources that we have is going to require some innovative minds. So we're going to need some skilled problem solvers to enter the agricultural industry to help us face this challenge. So some of the job opportunities could be in business and management. STEM is a really great opportunity within agriculture. Food, biomaterials production, and then on education, communication, and government services. So being able to educate with the public about agriculture. So these are some of our career clusters. The point of this pie is to really show you that there is a large breadth and depth of opportunities within agriculture, and all of these clusters together create a sustainable and safe and affordable food system for the United States and potentially the world. So some of the careers that we see here in food science, human nutrition and dietetics, biological sciences, technical biosystems engineering, industrial tech and packing services, horticulture. And what horticulture is, it's just the study of plants that are mainly for food, materials, comfort, and decoration, so flowers and such. Environmental sciences, fishery, forestry, and wildlife biology. So we see a lot of stuff in the news about wildfires right now within Florida, and people within this industry will be out there trying to problem solve and lead to prevention so it doesn't happen again. Animal and dairy sciences, which I think is the #1 thing that people think of when they think of agriculture, would be the animals and the dairy, that or agronomy and crop sciences, which is the corn and soybeans, the study of corn and soybeans that you see out in the fields. Ag education, communication, and studies. That's where I fall into. As a 4-H educator, I work in agricultural education and communication, which is why I'm giving you this presentation today. And then agricultural, economics, and business. Now, during ExploreAg in my program, we would touch on all of these clusters. So you might not be interested in biological sciences, but the best way to learn that is to try something and find out that you don't like it so that you can focus your attention on horticulture or communications and social media design. So yeah, we're going to start with these clusters. So we're going to start with animal science because I think it's one of the most obvious ones. I went to Ohio State for animal science. So some of the things that you could do with a career in animal science would be to study how living things grow and develop, conduct lab research on samples and specimens from animals, diagnose, treat, and manage the care of animals, manage the production and sale of animal commodities, feed, and associated equipment. And then down here, you can see some of those sample careers. So the animal scientist, the livestock production manager, which is just a really good word for farmer, animal health product salesman, livestock equipment salesman, animal genetic specialist, and food and meat product developer. So these are just sample careers. And as we move through the presentation, I'll give you some ideas of careers within these industries. But by no means is this the only thing that you can do with an animal science degree or working in the animal science industry. But I do want to say that when we think about animal science, a lot of people think of that farmer, of that dairy farmer that wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and milks his cows and does a really great job to supply us with a safe food source. But there's a lot of careers around him that support that farmer to make them more successful and productive. So nutritionists, we need nutritionists that know about the animal's digestive tract to help that animal be the most productive and have the best animal welfare. So those nutritionists formulate the feed that the farmer will be giving to the cows or whatever animal. A reproduction specialist. So how do we make sure that the genetics of the animal are appropriate and give them the highest quality of life? You see here the equipment salesperson. Equipment is vital for animal welfare. The safety of not only the animal, but also the farmer that's working that animal, especially when you're thinking about cows that are 1,000+ pounds. So there's a lot that goes into animal science. It's not just that farmer on the field. So next we're going to talk about food science. This is one of my favorite ones to talk about. I wish I had become a food scientist because they get to do a lot of really, really cool things. They can potentially create flavor profiles for food products. They can follow procedures, routines, and recipes. They have to collect and record data on those products or procedures, and design food packaging, which I think is the really, really cool one. If you're interested in art or you're interested in marketing, maybe food science would be a great place for you because food scientists might process the food. So we think about the food that's on the farm. How do we process that into something that we can eat and buy from the store? But also that packaging matters. What makes us want to pick up that food from the store? And that's something that food scientists can do. So some sample careers, a food scientist, biochemist, a flavor chemist, research and development scientist, and a laboratory technician. So I love this picture here on the right with these young ladies that attended ExploreAg. We got to go into the berry lab at Ohio State ATI campus, and we got to learn about the pigments within the berries. So the ladies got to extract those pigments and compare pigments to each other. So it was a really great hands-on learning activity where they were working in food science in a lab and getting the opportunity to use some of those STEM ideas that they had learned in school. So next, we're going to talk about plant systems and plant science. So some of the things you could be doing would be to study plants and their growth, advise farmers on maximum yield, use new research in biotechnology to develop improved plants and food crops, determine how to grow healthy crops while conserving natural resources required to grow them. So some sample careers that we see here would be an agronomist, a biotechnologist, field advisor, soil scientist, a floral designer, a greenhouse manager, or plant system engineer. So there's a lot that can go into learning about plant science. We primarily within ExploreAg look at the agronomy field. So thinking about agronomists specifically for those row crop farms that we see, whether that be corn, soybean, wheat, barley. So here on the left, you'll see Colby talking to one of the master students from Ohio State University. She's doing a research study in agronomy, learning about the growth of the plant from seedling up into when you're ready to harvest. So here she's looking at the growth of the plant and where it should be for the timeline. And if it's not there, problem solve why. So is it that the nutrients are in the soil that the crop needs? Is it because it has an insect on it that is sucking the resources so it cannot grow? Or is it that there's not enough water for the plant or not enough sunlight for the plant? So there's a lot of things, and she's really studying how that, and that's what a lot of people do in plant systems and plant science. So next we're going to talk about environmental science. This is also a really cool one. So when you're working in environmental science and natural resources, you can learn how natural environments function and evolve, determine the most efficient use of natural resources in various environments, plan, budget, and keep records, determine and solve ecological challenges such as climate change, pollution, pest control, ecology, ecological balance, and land use. So some sample careers that we see here: an environmental policy advisor, public health manager, waste management engineer, conservation scientist, environmental lawyer, or wildlife manager. So we actually in ExploreAg just did an after-school program focused on environmental science, where we really focused on the water quality issue here in Ohio and how different careers play a role in combating that to increase our water quality, to get to a good place in Lake Erie and other watersheds here in Ohio. So we talked to those policy people that help create policy to increase water quality. We also talked to those engineers and conservation scientists that teach us about best practices, not only for farmers, but for industrial uses of water. So that was really interesting, and it's a very interesting career. So next, we're going to talk about global agricultural systems. This was also super interesting. If you like to examine complex problems from multiple perspectives or formulate policies and plans to guide large-scale projects, or working efficiently with a team of professionals, travel and experience other cultures, this global agricultural systems could be for you, a career within there. So some sample careers could be trade policy analyst, international lawyer, international development manager, farming consultant, web designer, developer, financial officer, or transport and logistics specialist. So I think a really cool one here is the ability to go travel to other countries and learn about their agricultural commodities or how they grow different agricultural commodities, because each nation is going to grow not only different commodities based on their soil, their climate, their resources, but also how they grow. Might be different from different places, and it's really important to understand that so that we can have a good sustainable food source for the entire world. So this career can be really beneficial and really interesting. So next we're going to talk about agribusiness. This is probably the biggest one, right? Because it encompasses a lot of things within agriculture. But some of the things you might be doing would be to invest and plan financially, communicate and build relationships, formulate, coordinate, and supervise tasks of employees, follow ideas through to the end product. And some sample careers could be farm appraiser, farm manager, crop producer, grain livestock buyer, market analyst, financial officer, marketing executive, buyer, and journalist. So when you look at that farm manager, a farmer owns that land, so he is in business and he is in agribusiness. Now the associated careers within agribusiness can help support that farmer financially, do transition planning. So for a farm to transition to the next generation, there needs to be a plan for that financially, for both the one family member and the other family member, or if you're transitioning to somebody else. So that's something that someone in agribusiness might help with. So one agribusiness that we got to visit would be Smucker's. This was a super fun one because we got to go and learn about all of their products that they make, learn a little bit about how they source the product, the farming, the products from the farm that they need to then process that into the products that we buy on the shelf. So Smucker's was a great marrying of learning about food science and everything that we do in food science, and then learning about the business end of a food business like Smucker's. So that was super interesting. So next we're going to talk about power, structural, and technological systems. So this is the real up and coming agricultural career, and a lot of interest that I'm seeing in young people would be working with drones and computer science to further the mission of feeding people through agriculture. So operating robots, drones, and other computer controlled machines solve problems concerned with power machinery, electrification, and other technical systems, use specialized computer software, and improve processes to make things more efficient. So what you'll see here in the picture on the left is two young gentlemen at ExploreAg who are looking at a drone and learning about the ways that drones help the agricultural industry. So if there's a large pasture with cows on it, how can the drone fly over the cows and potentially identify one that is sick or one that is giving birth or one that's having another issue? Drones can be great to see that, so the farmer doesn't have to drive out there. You can fly the drone out and see everything in one breath. Or surveying a field and being able to learn about the crops on that field through different capabilities of that drone. So there's a lot of opportunity here. And as we look at some sample careers, we see agricultural engineer, diesel technician, land surveyor, automation engineer, drone operator, farm equipment technician, contractor builder, transportation and logistics specialist, rail transportation worker, and welder. So a lot of what we see here is a wide depth of careers and a wide depth of knowledge. So we look at a contractor builder. It's important to have buildings in agriculture and facilities that meet the needs of the farming operations. So that's a very important aspect of farming. The transport and logistics. How do we transport our commodities either across the United States or to other countries, working with the global folks from earlier? And then the farm equipment technician. How do we make sure that the farmers have equipment that's working efficiently and effectively to help them reach maximum yields on their farms? So here on the right, you see a photo of when we went to the John Deere training facility in Plain City. This is a great opportunity for the students to see a bunch of different careers within this power, structural, and technological systems, because they got to look at the drone technology. They got to ride in a combine simulation. They got to learn about how to become a technician to work on this equipment when it does fail, and learn about the different types of machinery. The interesting thing about John Deere is that they also gave us the opportunity to learn about their marketing and how they use communication to train their technicians and how they market their products. So John Deere did a really great job showing us a wide breadth of careers within their company. And then finally, we're going to end here on agricultural education. So agricultural education, which is the field that I fall into, you need to have the ability to speak in front of others, help people understand the food, fiber, and fuel systems. So I do not come from an agricultural background. I'm actually from the city of Philadelphia, barely ever went to a petting zoo. And I really started to cultivate and find my love for agriculture in college. So now it is my job to help people understand the food, fiber, and fuel systems in the agricultural industry, even though I didn't come from there. So I encourage all of the kids out there that if you're not from an agricultural background, that's okay. I'm not either, but I'm here sitting in front of you today. And I know that there are many people within agriculture that don't come from that background that contribute in such a major way to our food system. But so as working in agricultural education, you could travel the state and the country with student leaders, develop connections between industry and education. So how can I help connect students learning about agriculture to a career that they can find in a specific industry? And I personally like a lot of variety, and working in agricultural education gives you the ability to work with a lot of variety. So some sample careers would be a high school agri-science teacher, an ag literacy coordinator, which a lot of the commodity groups here in Ohio have an ag literacy coordinator, such as Farm Bureau, the Ohio Soybean Council, Certified Angus Beef, the Ohio Beef Council. So they have ag literacy programs to teach kids and the public about agriculture. Agricultural education professor at a university such as Ohio State or Wilmington or Central State University. Farm business management instructor and young farmer instructor. So it's not just becoming a teacher. There's a lot of places, there's a lot of things you can do working in agricultural education. For example, up here in the picture at the top, you can see a woman teaching us about entomology. And I'm very happy that we got to go to the entomology lab because as you can see here, there are a couple young ladies who are extremely interested in learning about entomology and all of the things that entomology can hold as a career. So it's the study of bugs, but where those bugs are located and the purpose of those bugs can change depending on what you're studying. So we see here a woman teaching them about bugs. So she's working in agricultural education and it was a really great opportunity. I was talking earlier about trying things out and realizing you don't like them. Entomology is one of those things for me. I don't think that I could ever have a career in entomology, but I do know that a couple of the ExploreAg kids left thinking that it could be a career option for them. So it's always good to find what you like and what you don't like. So next, we're going to kind of roll into our activity. So we will take down this presentation and bring up a website, and we are going to run through, we're going to shift gears a little bit here, shift to our activity, and we're going to go through some activity that can show us from start to finish different careers. It'll also show you some ways to get to that career. So let me do this real quick. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 more minute here. It'll be worth it because we will get to learn about many careers. All right. Perfect. So what we're going to be doing here is going through a little simulation that can teach us about our career from start to finish. So we're going to start here at the luck of the draw, and we'll throw this link into the chat box so that you can check out this activity later and do it more on your own. So we're going to start with this luck of the draw. Not everybody starts in the same place. So we're going to go with this gray card here. And we will have earned a grant for $2,000 in financial assistance. So fabulous. We will be able to use that as we look at our future career. So next, you're going to see here different opportunities that you can choose from going through life. So we could decide to just enter the workforce, join the military, go to community college, get our GED, or attend a four-year university. So we're going to join the military first. If this is something that you want to do, this website gives you a really great understanding of the military and the military opportunities. They give you information about each military branch, ROTC and scholarship opportunities. And there's a lot of different opportunities for you. If this is what you want to do, you could report for duty and our simulation would end. But I'm going to make another life choice. I'm going to attend a four-year university. Now, we have that $2,000 from our luck of the draw, so that will definitely help towards our tuition, which is explained here. We are then going to go get our degree, and now we can decide what we would like to do. So now, do we want to enter the workforce? You still have the opportunity to join the military, or we could go on to earn our master's degree. For now, we're going to see if we can enter the workforce. So you can see on this page, it's not just agriculture that this website focuses on. It shows you a large variety of careers that you could do in a lot of different industries. But today, we are going to focus on the animal, food, and natural resources. And on this page, it gives us a bunch of different career options that we could have. So we're looking at a bunch of things that we already talked about during our presentation, and maybe a couple that we didn't even think of yet. So I see animal trainer. I don't think we covered that in our animal science one. So once we pick a career, and we've picked animal trainer, it will tell you here in the green that we have enough education. If you choose a career and you don't have enough education, you can always go back and get more schooling to help figure out if this is a career that you're interested in. It'll give you a description of the career so you can understand what you'll be doing, some education level, and hours and some of the things that you might do. So you often specialize in one type of animal. You'll work both indoors and outdoors, have a flexible schedule. It gives you a bunch of information here. It gives you information on wages and salary, and it gives you the top 10 and the bottom 10. And then also over here, it tells you the highest education level needed. So I'm not really interested in animal trainer, so I can just click that button and go back and pick a new career. So I can pick from one of these different careers. So I'm going to look at environmental engineer. I think I'm more interested in engineering, and I definitely want to look at this. I'm interested in environment. So let's say that we like this career. We like the hours, we like what we'll be doing, we like the salary, what we'll be making. We're happy with our education. So we're going to select this career. It will then give us an annual income, which is super exciting because we'll be getting an idea of what we'll be making. But what that doesn't mean much to me, $69,000 doesn't mean much to me. So how far will this stretch? So this is a great opportunity to look at expenses and monthly expenses and stuff that you definitely want. So for example, here, housing, rent a 1-bedroom. I don't want to rent a 1-bedroom. I want to own my house, which is going to have an $800 mortgage. We can then update that amount and it will show you how much you have remaining. So I also know that I really like to eat out. So I'm going to add more money to my food as well, so that I get a good idea of what my remaining income will be. This is our monthly after taking the taxes out. So we cannot change our taxes. They are set in stone, but we can change these other things. We could be living in a city, so we wouldn't have a car and wouldn't have a car payment. Or we could be living in a suburb and really need that car payment. So it gives you the chance to really think through some of these categories and how far your money will stretch in a career that you have chosen. So we are going to go ahead and choose this career. And then this is your life. It's your journey. So you get the opportunity to look at what you've chosen. I've taken that $2,000 and I've turned it into a bachelor's degree, and I've become an environmental engineer, and it's great, and I love it. So, but how did I get there? So over here on the left, we're going to be looking at, now that we've completed the activity, what is our goal in mind? Is it environmental engineering? And then what steps do I need to take to achieve that goal? And who can help me? Maybe it's a professor I know. Maybe it's someone I met with in ExploreAg. And then what things could potentially get in the way of reaching that goal, whether that be financial or my education level, and then what can I go on to do more of? And then what is our goal? When do you want to reach these goals? So I think this is a great opportunity to just think it out. And this is all theoretical, right? So you can run through this simulation 15 times with 15 different careers and be like, you know what, that one really stuck with me, and really get goals in mind so that you can reach something. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and we are going to go back to our presentation. You'll just give me one more second. You guys are the best for sticking with me. So we did our activity. I just wanted to share some more resources with you. Obviously, our ExploreAg page, Grow Next Gen, has a lot of really great resources, not even just for careers, but just agricultural education in general. So if you go to their website, they would have a really, really great opportunity to learn some new things. If there are any teachers out there, there are a lot of great teacher resources. And then our Ag Explorer, that is a program through FFA, and it's another simulation similar to the one that we just went through, but a little bit more specified towards what you like. So it's basically a quiz that you go through and you say, I really like science, I really like math, I really see a career in STEM. I'm very goal-oriented and task-oriented, and it'll give you a career within agriculture that could be good for you. It'll actually give you a few. So just wanted to share those resources with you so that you can explore some more agriculture and learn a little bit more about careers available to you. So I think we'll go to questions now. So I really promote everybody putting questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer those. And my email is there. If you're interested in ExploreAg or interested in careers, or if there's any way that I can help you in your workforce development efforts, please feel free to email me. It's my job and I love it. So my email is there. We could potentially throw that in the chat box too. So I'm going to stop sharing this so that I could see some of the questions that you guys have for me today. Do you have to have college for all of these careers? Yeah. So you do not have college for all of those careers. There are many careers within agriculture that you don't need a college degree for, no matter what you're thinking of. If college is not for you, there are many places within agriculture for you, whether that be in animal science. Some of the engineering and really science-based careers you would need a college degree for, but the hands-on careers like working as a technician, working within John Deere has a lot of opportunities, or just community college. If you don't think that a 4-year degree is for you, a 2-year degree would be really great, and Ohio State ATI has a lot of great resources for that too. Yeah. What are some of the companies that you could work for if you wanted to go into agricultural science careers? It's a great question. So some of the big ones that come off the top of my head would be Cargill, Ohio Farm Bureau. What are some? John Deere is a good one. I keep saying John Deere. Smucker's has a lot of careers. If you're interested in food science coalitions here in the Columbus area, agri-science careers. Ohio State's really good to find some of those companies that you could work with. There's a lot of food companies here in Ohio. So Wendy's, Dole Foods is located in the Xenia area. There's a lot of agricultural businesses here that we might not even know about. So lumber is also a really big thing up in northern Ohio, and there are a lot of lumber companies if you're interested in that too. These are some great questions. I really appreciate it. What else do you guys have? Can you talk about international careers? Yes, I can talk about international careers. I find them extremely fascinating. They can mean a lot of things. And when we talk about trade between different countries, it's really important that we have those international careers. There's also a lot of interest in biotechnology. There's a company out of the Cincinnati area called BioWish, and they work with biotechnologies related to a lot of different things, but a person that worked with us, ExploreAg, did aquaculture. So they worked with international places in the Middle East, teaching about aquaculture, which is just the farming of fish. So we don't do that much here in the state of Ohio, not at all, but not much. So he does a lot of travel over to other countries to bring them the equipment that we have here in the United States and teach them how to use it to make their farming more efficient, if that makes sense. I actually will throw a link in the chat that is a video of a woman who works in an international agricultural career. And it's a really great video to, if I can, I might throw it in here. It's a really great video to learn about her career and what she does. What else do we have? There's a lot of policy work too that goes on within the agricultural industry. So creating policies that are appropriate for farmers, that meet farmers' needs, and help communicate the agricultural issues to representatives. Are there any internship programs or job shadow opportunities? There are a lot of internship programs across the state of Ohio in agriculture. The best thing to do would be to look on a website like Ag Careers. That's a really great website. If you just Google agricultural careers, you'll find some businesses, and then looking at those businesses' websites and their career tabs is the best way to look for internship opportunities. The OABA website, which is the Ohio Agribusiness Association, often lists internship opportunities for agricultural businesses that are a part of their association. So I would encourage looking on their website. If you're interested in job shadowing, every farmer that I've ever talked to, or anybody that's interested in creating more careers within agriculture, if you have someone in your local area, just approach them and say, I want to come out and learn about what you do on your dairy farm for the day, or I want to come out and learn about, what processes go into harvest, and stuff like that. So I'm not going to say that everybody will say yes to a job shadowing opportunity, but I was always taught that the answer is always no until you ask. And I know that a lot of people within agriculture are very willing to get out the message and recruit kids to the agricultural industry. So I would encourage you asking anybody from your local area. How has technology changed agricultural over the years? Yeah, that's a really, really great question. I don't know if I'm the best person to answer that, but I'll give you my personal answer. It's the most up and coming career right now. The technology is changing constantly within agricultural machinery, and it's changed careers because I don't think that there was a lot of emphasis on computer science, coding, but when we look at applications for farming, it's essential. And being able to create technology that could be used in drones to better understand what's going on farms, whether that be a crop farm or a livestock farm. The careers are always changing, and that's the most in demand one is agricultural engineering, not only creating equipment, but creating the technology and computer software on the back end to make farming more efficient. So I hope that answered your question. But we look at companies like Beck's Hybrids and everything that they're trying to do to further technology, because at the end of the day, feeding 9 billion people by 2050, as I was saying earlier, is going to be a challenge. And I think technology plays a role in that, as it plays in a lot of different industries. That's a great question. You guys have some great questions. All right, well, I think that's it. I really want to thank everyone today for coming and hearing our presentation. Again, I'm always a resource if you need me. You can always look me up on the Franklin County Extension website as well. So thank you so much, and thank you, COSI, for hosting me today. So bye, everyone.